is preparing the stream for live. I swear, people start screaming at me about notifications. I'm going to.
How are we going to know, James, if the show's on? How are we going to know?
Yeah, I'm going to speed chunks. And we are on, folks. We are on. It's me and Frank, the dudes today. We're here. Welcome to JHM Spotlight and Recap here on JLJ Media. I am James Lott Jr. That is Frank Moran.
Well, Frank two dudes talking soaps.
Talking soaps. That's right, kids. Two dudes talking soaps. You guys are coming in. Okay, so you guys come on in. The usual group, come on in. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here. I'm trying to get this thing going. Just a little housekeeping before we start talking about our show. So what's already happened, what was, and what was. Let's see how people are saying, it's a show today. It's a show today. It's on. Okay, it's Wide Army Spotlight. That happened already. That's on already. We talked about the big crossover event that's happening between Y&R and B&B. They're crossing over for the next 2 weeks. So we talked about that on that show, and we talked about it on B&B Mini Spotlight that came on afterwards. Both of those are out. Tammy Govea and Amanda Russ are on that show with me, and it's already out. You can watch it and to your heart's content. Then Tammy Govea and Candace Mack did Daytime Today. They talked about a bunch of daytime news on there. And so there you can watch that. It's out now too. After this show, we have a very special Forever and a Day after show coming up with Candace Mack, Matthew Preston, and Darrell Anthony. Darrell Anthony's actually acted on General Hospital many times over the years. Background role stuff. Yeah, many times. They're not using him now because he's in New York. They can't fly him out. But he's going to be on talking about Forever and a Day. It's at 6 p.m. after this. And then ending the evening, because I just can't get enough talking all day long, me and Adam Woods will be talking about his wrestling stuff. He does wrestling interviews, how wonderful I am, and living in Inglewood. And that's at 8 p.m. on my Extra Connections Live. You know, that's of course. Extra Connections Live here on JLJ Media. Yes. And yes, you guys are days.
The talking point of how wonderful James Lott Jr. is. Yeah, that is. The guest wanted to talk about it. What was I supposed to do?
It'll fill an hour, Frank. It'll fill an hour, I'm sure. And why not? I mean, it's like, how humble I am. Yes, and some folks are, that's right. Dishing Days is on right now for another, I think, 20, 30 minutes. So I guess some of you guys are watching both Dishing Days at the same time. So yes, hello to Tony Moore and those folks over there. And I was just watching them too a second ago. I was saying that Darrell Anthony, who's going to be on Forever and a Day host, he was on General Hospital many times. He did some guest stuff on there. Okay, so welcome everybody. Come on in, hit that like button, whatever. Okay. I want to start with
Go ahead. Sure, yeah. One question I wanted to ask you, with the Y&R and the Bold and Beautiful crossovers, is it for like 2 weeks, is it just kind of a closed story, or does it kind of everything in both shows kind of lead naturally up to that crossover, and then are there ramifications that kind of play out from that crossover in both series?
So far, there were a lot of folks who were upset because it didn't do enough. So the story buildup happened on Young and the Restless. The characters are going. So a character left Bold and Beautiful. They brought her on Young and the Restless. Her name is Courtney Hope in real life. She's actually dating or was dating Chad Duell on General Hospital, who plays Michael in real life. I don't know if they still are or not. You guys can tell me in the chat if they still are or not. But anyway, so she left. She was a regular character on Bold and Beautiful for like years. They got rid of her storyline, and all of a sudden she popped up on Young and the Restless as the same character. So I think, okay, that's kind of cute. So folks don't know this. Television City is where both shows are filmed. They're across the hall from each other. So that's what makes it so easy. I've been on the set, so it's easy to go from Y&R to B&B. Anyway, so the characters on Young and the Restless want to find out about what happened to Sally Spectra. Why is she here? So on Young and the Restless, they led all the way up to them flying to California. They landed in California on Young and the Restless last week, and they met up with one of the characters from Bold and Beautiful. So it was almost like an off story around anybody else. And they actually went to one of the restaurants from Bold and Beautiful and brought it on set for Y&R. So it's kind of cool to see that as a trip. But now I guess but so far Bold and Beautiful hasn't mentioned anything yet of them.
Oh, wow.
So I think now next week they sort of previews for this week. I think now those characters get fully integrated into Bold and Beautiful. What that
Interesting.
means for Y&R, I don't know, because they mentioned another storyline on Y&R with our friend Michelle Stafford, who plays Phyllis, talking about a CFO in Los Angeles who had to resign. They kept mentioning it 5 times. So it's kind of like, are they going to LA too? So I don't know. They don't tell us. But Phyllis has been saying it over and over again. Well, I know what's going on in LA. I know what's going on in LA. So I don't know. But they showed a previous little snippet preview of Bold and Beautiful, and you saw the 2 characters from Young and Restless interacting with the characters on Bold and Beautiful. So I don't, so, and they made it plausible. They're there to sniff out information on the Sally Spectra, but also they're a publication, they're a fashion house, they want to work together. So it's kind of like, it kind of makes sense, right? So, but folks are upset it wasn't enough. So I'm thinking maybe this week would be the big week that they do the real big crossover. I don't know. So it'll be very interesting. They are still together. Okay, they're still dating. Okay, yes. Yeah. So Chad Buell and Courtney Hope are dating in real life.
So I mean, I imagine though it can't be as exciting as Maxie and Sasha trying to get Nina to write a story in Crimson. It couldn't be nearly as exciting as that.
I don't even know what to, I mean. I know. So for all you podcast listeners, it did go silent. Nothing wrong with your listening ears. James Lottjr just went silent because he doesn't even know how to even begin to talk about this storyline and how that whole scene was so unnecessary. It was like Cynthia watches as a guarantee of 2 shows this week, so we'll throw this in there, make sure she gets seen, gets her guarantee. I'm like, they find something to do with Nina, please. Find something to do with Nina, please. I thought I could say, Frank. I mean, that whole thing was just ridiculous to me. It was like it was another excuse for Sasha to be near Nina, I guess. I mean,
I know.
Did you get it? Did you get it? I don't know. I didn't get it.
It is. I find it with Sasha, and I know I talked about this last week too, where it's just the difference between Finn and Alexis going through rehab and facing their demons, and Sasha, and whether it's just like it's all like off camera with Sasha. Oh, I'm going to counseling, and my counselor is saying this and this. I'm like, okay. It seems so inconsequential to Sasha's character, which is a shame. If they were going to spend this time, well, they made it all ham-fisted anyway with the PA giving her Coke. So I mean, I can't expect her recovery process to be treated with any more authenticity than that.
I think it's a missed opportunity to have her in a meeting with Finn, because he has an addiction, and a few other people. They could have done at least one episode of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just have her talk about what she did, maybe in a meeting. But you're right, it's completely just like, I go to meetings, I have homework to do. What are you in school? I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I'm just like, I like, hi everybody. I don't even get it. I don't even get it. So I was just like, we got to do something. Sasha's another one who I like the actress. I like the actual character. I'm hoping they're moving her around a bit. I'm hoping they find something really for her. I mean, going off of Cyrus was kind of funny, kind of cute. But again, it was like, really? Did they have to ever do that? I don't know, Frank. I don't know.
And the relationship with Brando it flips flops from like, oh, you're really cool to like, why are you stalking me? What's going on? Just like, just pick a direction. Either she's really creeped out by him or she's interested in him. And then let's just go from there.
Because I would like them together, actually. I think there's some potential there. There's potential there. And that would bug Cyrus, of course, too, on some level. So there's something there. And I feel like that you're right. They don't know what to do. They're not sure which is it. It's played weird. That's what it is. It's played weird. So figure that out. We got to figure out a storyline. Go ahead.
I mean, if you were in Nina's shoes and somebody that you cared for came to you and said, hey, help me out. Can you, I need to help with my business. I need to tell my story to show that I'm not like some cliche, that there's reasons behind my actions. Would you do what Nina did and say no? Or would you actually like, yeah, let me help tell your story?
Yeah, maybe let me help tell your story, possibly. Story of redemption, story of survival, story of, Sasha, it's almost like she just made Sasha Nina's daughter. I mean, on some level, it's like I wish it had turned out really is the daughter. You really are the father, kind of thing. Like it's just like we thought it was a fake out, then we find out it is. Then we just go from there and move it. I'm keep it moving. I just think this whole daughter thing and they already see the writing on the wall. Phyllis Caulfield's back with Sonny. She mentions his baby. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. They're tying it together somehow. They're going back to that. I'm like, oh my God, which ties to Carly, who's gonna feel this. I mean, it's like, really, are we really going that direction? Are we really going that direction?
That was the unexpected return of a cat.
Oh no, what? Oh, totally.
I was like, oh, we're bringing Phyllis back. Okay.
And gave her a husband and a place that he has a business. I'm like, okay, sure. And he was a total dick. He was just like, I don't want to get straight. All right. I'm like, well, how many men does she bring through here? Like, what's she doing?
But it went. That was so frustrating because it goes from that where the guy had so much attitude towards Mike, Sonny,
Yeah,
and then the next scene, like, wow, that's a heck of a story. Did you check your watch? Wow, you really made it through some stuff. I'm like, all right. So again, he just flip flop. And it's like, all right, you seem to be all right. Great. So now we got somebody. Just I am curious to see where they're going with this Sonny amnesia storyline, and it has been a while since they pulled out the old amnesia trope, and what it does, I don't know.
I have a feeling. Yeah, the state trooper. I was going to say the same thing. The state trooper should know about the missing person. Roller skate Kate, I'm with you on that one. They think that Phyllis should know who Sonny is. I'm not sure why should they know him.
I don't know. I'm thinking, how aware are we of mob bosses, or just notorious like gang people, if you ask me like any high connected like gang or mob people, I could not name you a person.
Yeah, I have no. I don't even know. I don't know.
Speaking of that,
yeah,
that whole sequence of Mike of Sonny and his rescuer, which I'm glad they didn't go the creepy route where the rescuer was some creepo who wanted like let me just lie in my basement for a while. But that whole scene with the cop was just so terrible. It was so terrible.
I know, it was, but I agree. He should have known something about him because because just what I don't know. I don't know the time period is that. Was it hours ago, days ago? I have no idea. They're looking for Sonny. They're looking for Sonny Corinthos. So I'm like, wouldn't that be everywhere? I mean, wouldn't that be somewhere? I don't know.
And I can't imagine he's that far out of from where he fell in that bridge in New Jersey. That it's like that is so weird. Like, nope, nobody's looking for you. We haven't heard anything about somebody falling off a bridge and being missing.
I know. I'm like,
what?
I know. So I get what they're trying to do. It's an old soap thing. He has amnesia. He starts a new life, so to speak, in another place. He gets to get back to himself again, kind of the inner self. He's Mike, which his real name is Michael, folks. So irony there. They're trying to make it seem like, okay, everybody thinks he's dead. Carly will be a mob boss all of a sudden. She'll be the queen of the mob. Jason has to step into a role, but he'll be over here kind of playing like small town boy. I have a feeling that's what they're going to do for a while. And then somehow they'll get revealed somehow. I mean.
Best line was the cop once they get Sonny and the guy out of the car. He just says, and what's with that bandana?
I know.
Why? What is that? Why is that even a question? Oh. So Officer, I'm trying to shut up. What's his deal? There's only, and then the way they end it, there's only one place you're going, and that's to the emergency room. Follow me.
Come on with me. Let's skip our way in there.
Holy cow!
It was yeah. So people were saying run his prince. He's still in New York State. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess well, a lot of storyline. I mean, barring that part, there's a lot of holes in the story. First of all, that we're just like we get all. I think we all can poke holes in this story. I mean, it's not even that hard. I mean, it's leaking everywhere. I mean, it's just like I don't even. but I see what they're trying to do. So that's the thing. I get what they're trying to do. There may have been a different way about it. It could have gone, would have been a little more plausible. But I think everybody in here agrees, and it's what they're agreeing. Eh, we'll see what happens, I guess. It gives Sonny a break, I guess, from the mob world. But now there's a guy with a gun. What's Sonny going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, interesting because it seems like I guess this is going to have more of an effect on everybody in Port Charles, necessarily on Sonny. Because I'm thinking like the older, in past times when you've seen the amnesia trope, and you decide to follow that character through that process as well, that they'll get involved romantically or develop feelings with somebody, and then does that person come with them back to Port Charles and they become, and you open up storylines that way. But I don't think that we're not
They
putting
gave Phyllis a husband. At
Yeah.
first, I was like, are they going to kind of get together? So he's going to start liking him. Like, okay. But he gave him a husband. So I don't even know. See, I have a feeling it's a plot device to bring Phyllis to Nina. And I feel there's something going on there. It's that godforsaken baby. I have a feeling that's what it is. Hello, everybody. I have a feeling that's what it is. They're trying to link that somehow. I'm like, oh my God. Can we forget about that storyline, please? Please. For Christmas, New Year's, and Easter, can I just not have that, or can I just not have that storyline? Please.
Perhaps he finds Nell. He runs into Nell and he doesn't even recognize Nell because he's got amnesia.
That would be funny, actually. I mean, because we know she ain't dead, folks. Everybody, you all think she's dead. You have not watched soaps because you know she ain't dead. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she is. They haven't showed the body to us. At least they showed Julian's body to us, so we know he did. But they haven't showed her body, so I don't know. I think she's still alive somewhere. So that storyline's kind of hokey, but we'll see what happens with that. But meanwhile, I do want to mention Avery got her. Avery's with her mother.
You know, I had zero sympathy, not zero sympathy, but I mean, Carly getting on like, why is she doing that right now? I'm like, slow your roll, Carly. She is his mom.
Mm-hmm. She is a girl. First of all, she's not taking advantage. She's the living parent. I mean, if he's dead, she has the right to come. And also, she's been fighting for this for years, like this off and on for years. Like, you're like, all of a sudden, this is new news to you that, I mean, it's hard to watch this, everyone mourning him, knowing that first of all, we knew he was alive. But I feel like it's just like, they do this story, every few years they do this storyline, somebody dies. Mm-hmm. They're not really dead, except for Morgan. He really died. I'm very proud of them. And Nathan, so far they've kept them dead. But these is like, well, Sonny's a major character. He's not going to die. He's not going to be killed off the show. I mean, so it's kind of like, I'm watching and I'm not invested. I mean, the performances are okay. I mean, they're fine, but I'm just not investing because I know he's alive.
I mean, yeah, if Maurice Bernard ever decided to leave GH, I mean, I feel like the best thing they could do would be killing him off, because I feel like like all this stuff is just going to be for show. You're right. When he comes back, everything's going to get reshuffled around. But to see the show actually have to make a significant decision and stick to it, if Maurice was never going to be a factor again, would be interesting.
That would be interesting. But this part, I mean, part of this is kind of interesting to see what role Carly would do. She already kidnapped the mother. So it'll be interesting. And Jason's trying to tell her, stay out of the business. But she wants to do everything. So I'm kind of like, this part could be interesting. Carly as mob boss could be interesting on some level. And give Sonny a break from that for a little bit. Okay, I can. If it's done well, I can watch that for a while. I have no problem. I can watch that for a while. I don't know. What do you think?
I am curious to see why, if Jason was so opposed to this kidnapping, because that's not his style, and of course everybody else is saying that it's not his style, that he's still going along with it. Why isn't he just having the mom returned back to that facility? Like, well, why not? Why not just return him?
Because remember he was going to do it. But he said he was going to go. He's going to do it, and she stopped him. And I'm like, why are you going along with this? Because why don't you just sneak out, just get it out, and just say, sorry, Carly, I did what I had to do. But they didn't. I don't know. It's just so interesting that he's not doing that. That he's sticking up for Carly and taking the blame and being the front of this. And everybody's like, he doesn't sound like you. Like, it just seems weird. It seems weird to me.
It's. Just tell Carla this is not how we do business. It's not how Sonny would do business, which he did say. So then that's why I returned her. And I don't know why is an issue at that point.
I agree. I don't know either. But everybody's coming through. But the conversation between Nicholas and Carly was interesting. When he
Yeah.
brought up a long time thing that happened, I was like, oh, I forgot about the Spencer thing. I mean, because Spencer said we're close. Obviously, they were close, and he was great. When he brought up the whole, like, when you kept my son, they made me think it was, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about all that back in the day.
I know.
I didn't like that.
Don't get on your high horse with me. You faked your death to your own son.
So everybody's bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's wrong. No one should be giving anybody any kind of shade, because you all did something that was not good. So, but when he brought that up, I was like, oh, that was a long time. Okay, he brought that up. Okay. Carly was not happy, and of course Jax came over. So, do you think it's going to lead to Jax and Carly again?
Again, I'd be down for that, but I know with Sonny alive, it means nothing, and then you're just generating this false drama, because when it comes back, Carly's obviously going to go back to Sonny. So why would you bother even starting that storyline? Because it just makes everybody look like chumps.
I agree with that. I do. Michael B thinks that Carly did the right thing. Cyrus is off his game. He is Cyrus. We are seeing the other side of Cyrus, and that's what somebody else said in the chat room. We are seeing the side where he is really, him and Martin Gray, they're both really worried about their mom. I have to say that. They're both, he's running around town. He's upset.
True. Although, I guess if you are a criminal, you have to come with a certain layer, which means I can never admit to anything, because, otherwise I go to prison or jail or whatever.
Right.
So, but it is tiresome to hear all these things where they're calling Cyrus on his stuff, but he's like, I don't know what you mean by that. I think you're mistaken. Like, what? Come on, we all know it's the truth. So to have these scenes where it's constantly Cyrus evading or like, no, it's not me, it gets tiresome. It's like, I'm interested to see the side of Cyrus coming out, but when there's absolutely zero reflection on his end, all we hear is just his constant denials of all the obvious wrongdoing that he's done. Gets a little annoying.
Well, it's funny. But I like him. I like the actor. I'm starting to warm up to just the portrayal of him. Cyrus the bad guy. We don't like him, but it just makes me laugh that he's so creepy to everybody. He just runs up on Portia, and it's like, and she wants nothing to do with you. You run up on this person. He wants nothing to do. Like, nobody wants anything to do with you, and he just does not give. He gives 0 Fs. He does not care. He just walks around town with that ponytail, just like, hi, what's going on? He does not care, or screaming, so Sam, where's your boyfriend? I'm like, tell your boyfriend. I'm like, it was just so like, oh my God, it was just like, it was too much. It was too much.
I feel like I need Cyrus to have, and it's not really going to be Brando, because that's not going to develop in that kind of relationship, but Cyrus needs somebody that he can be completely authentic with. So at least we can see some scenes. Does he feel any remorse about his actions? And knows, like, yeah, this is, it's all come back on me. I've kidnapped and threatened people's families and children before, and now my mom is being threatened. What have I done? But I don't know.
I almost wish that him and Brando were that in a way, but he treats Brando like a subordinate. Like he doesn't trust him fully, but he has him on his payroll. It makes no sense. But I almost wish that he became a confidant, so that actually Brando would see a different side of him, possibly, and that would be much more complicated. Because with Laura's close. He can beat himself with Laura up to the point of not admitting what he's done, but he's showing himself to Laura. She gets him. She sees him, because, like she said to Curtis, that was funny when he found out all about this. We said, "I've got Curtis didn't know any of that stuff." I was like, "Oh yeah, he knows any of that stuff." He keeps comparing himself to Laura and saying that they're alike. And she goes, "Yeah, I had some indiscretions myself." So I think he's looking at Laura in her eyes like, I'm trying to find connection. We are the same. And she's like, no, we're not the same. So he's kind of being himself with her. But I agree with you. He's somebody else. Most villains have that person they talk to just plainly about everything. And he doesn't have that, because even Martin doesn't like him that much. So he doesn't really tell Martin that. And I hope that I had hoped that Brando might end up being that person by default, so to speak.
That's true, because if you're going to go the effort of establishing ties to Laura, make Martin his brother, you're trying to round him out to make him a fully realized person. a character, that you would also give us the opportunity to see some of that true vulnerability and acknowledgement of his wrongs, even if he knows, like, hey, I still have to do it, but I am cognizant and aware that, hey, I brought this on myself.
Yes, and I will tell you something, guys. They started bringing up in the chat room, so I'm going to mention also. Yes, last week was weird because of, I think we're missing an episode, right, or something. We're off an episode, something from 2 weeks ago, or is this the preemptions and everything? The world went crazy for a little bit there, so there's a lot of stuff going on. And I know that this week, because we have the inauguration, and hopefully not the beginning of the Civil War, that we have some episodes being preempted. They did announce. They're going to announce, I guess, which ones or some, or which days. They may show a rerun of something on Wednesday. The inauguration's Wednesday. Well, I guess we'll see what happens this week. Tomorrow's, I think, Junior Day. And then, so this week, I have no idea what episodes they're going to show, what they're going to have, how many, and where, and depending on where you live, too, is going to depend on what's airing and what's not. So it should be a very interesting week of catch can, I guess, like what's going to happen with General Hospital this week. We were bringing that up, so I don't know. Folks think that Cyrus is not in charge. There might be Martin secretly. Yeah. I don't know. They're.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, again, as we've talked about, there's enough left unknown about Martin that you could make that kind of twist if you wanted to. I don't know if I need that.
I don't know either. Cyrus did kill Dev. Yeah, so Cyrus, we know, put some plans in motion that killed some people. I mean, we know that for sure. Someone claims they saw a little remorse about Lulu. I don't know if I saw remorse, but they claim they did. I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so it's very interesting to see Canadians let us know what happens on GH. Oh, that's so funny.
I will say, though, one relationship I am enjoying, and you touched on it briefly, is the Laura and Curtis relationship.
Oh, I wrote that. More Laura Curtis. That's in my notes, kids. More Laura Curtis, my top thing. I love. Why do you love them?
I mean, I've always enjoyed Curtis. I mean, and not just because Daniel Turner came on to GH Report a couple times, came in for your birthday with a shirt off. That already there, is great. But
I love him, but that's not a story. But yes, go ahead.
I've just always enjoyed the character, and so I like what on the surface might seem like an unusual friendship to people. You're like, oh, I didn't realize you two would be friends. So I always like when they can pull off a pairing like that well, and I feel like with Laura and Curtis, they've let it build for this long time, and it was nice for them to have a scene where Laura could be there for Curtis in a way, because it seemed so one-sided at the beginning because Laura was kind of filling Curtis in. I am glad. I was like, all right, come on, Laura, you got to pick up on how Curtis is being invasive about Jordan, and I'm glad that the scene switched and she was able to be there for him, and I like that.
And she listened and didn't try to do anything, and was asking questions. Yeah, I love them together. Again, would have never guessed those two together, but in a way, it makes sense. He's a PI. She had a lot of adventures. We're seeing kick-ass Laura. I feel like this is the Laura we would see because she's been through a lot. I mean, she is not a wallflower. She's been through a lot. And as you get older, you get a little more secure in yourself. And I just think this is the Laura we need to see. Curtis, I remember Donnell said years ago, because you did like him from the very beginning. I remember you liked him from the very beginning. But he said something about on one of our shows that he used to watch Luke and Laura. So when he had a chance to talk to Tony Geary, it was a big deal for him. So I'm sure this is like he's loving this also. That's like he used to work with this icon. She's an icon. She literally is a cultural icon. There's very few folks can actually say that. Luke and Laura, she's actually an icon. But I love that they are so natural together. Like it's a natural, not like older, younger or relationship. It's like they're truly, I see them being as friends. And I love that even the little Bruce about Sunny, how she said she's gonna miss Sunny. And he allowed her to feel that. He was like, it's okay. You don't have to, and she hugged him and she let it down a little bit. I kind of like that. I thought that was very sweet. Donald Turner has I can't get the words out. Donald Turner does have chemistry with everyone. I do agree with that too. That's what Tara Kindle just said. I was like, I know that one. Hashtag John L. And his birthday was a few weeks ago, and so he had tweeted me back when I said my birthday. But no, they are an unlikely duo. But now they got enough adventures behind them. They really have some. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel. I mean, it's so funny. They naturally found gold with those two, and it was time to bring them back together to catch up. Because I forgot he didn't know all this stuff. He was there at the beginning and then left. He didn't know that there was her brothers, and so it was kind of good. Yeah, Curtis has nothing against Sonny. Curtis said, yeah, because he didn't. Sonny was always nice to Curtis. Curtis did a few things for him, and he had nothing. So it wasn't like you're friends with Sonny. I mean, there's nothing there with that. So I think it's kind of interesting. And I feel for Curtis. I feel Curtis and TJ. I feel for both of them that it kind of like Jordan messed up a little bit, but I kind of get where Jordan's coming from too, kind of. But I don't know. It's not black or white. And but I think TJ and Curtis have a chance to be upset. They have a right to be upset.
Before I follow up on that, the one other thing I do like about the Laura and Curtis relationship is like it's for Curtis, I always feel like Laura is the cool friend because he always hears about all these cool adventures and things that happen in life, and he's always like, "Wow, man, you've really done some stuff." And I like that kind of like, oh my God, that's like the cool person, and I get to hang out a little bit with this cool person and get to know them as a person and not just this thing. So I kind of like.
We all kind of have that. We have that friend, just done it all and been through stuff. Just like, wow, like they tell you, like, oh yeah, I remember that time when I was in the plane and I had to save the pilots, that kind of thing. Like it's just kind of like we all have one of those friends. You go, oh, that's kind of you're kind of in awe of them. They're your friend, they're your friend, but you're kind of like they tell you all these cool stories of time past or whatever. It's I think we all have that.
I used to carry this big bag that always had a bunch of stuff in it, and I would keep out of plane.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like it's great. I mean, I like that observation. I agree with that. My package was delivered. Sorry, folks. I'm looking. Oh, my package was delivered.
Are you doing a box opening? Is this going to be a box opening?
No opening. Okay. It's out front. I'll get it later. My brother brought it in the house. This is live television, folks at home. My Amazon package was very important. So,
speaking of TJ,
yes.
Oh man, what a clunker of a thing between him and Molly. In the shot. It was just all of it. It was just.
I know this storyline, as you and I both said this on the show. They didn't do enough with them in the first place for me to care. First of all, that's it. Good night, everybody. No, I don't. I just don't have any. I don't feel invested in them. I don't feel upset. I mean, I was like, okay. I mean. That's what I'm saying.
It's so terrible, but it's like if I never saw TJ or Molly again after this, I'm fine. Like
life will go on.
Yeah, you closed your story. You've gone through this little trouble, and now you're together, and you've been in a shower naked and made out. So cool. All right.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think you were here. Oh, you were here, right? You were here last week, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said it was funny about Jordan. After she had that big confrontation with Cyrus, they didn't even show her this week. They're like, we're going to break off this week. Yeah. Well, that's kind of weird. Again, why aren't we seeing more of them running into each other, of mother and son, or Curtis? Like, they're playing them in a vacuum. So it's like, she's over there now, you're over here. It's like, but you're talking about your mother, you're talking about your wife, but you're not. Like, why aren't we seeing more of them together so we can feel like invested? I don't feel it. I mean, I feel somewhat invested with Curtis and Jordan, kind of, but TJ and Molly and Brando, because it was such a necessary storyline. Like I said, your mother screwed it over. She thought you weren't together. They fell into bed. You weren't even together. I mean, that's just kind of like. I mean, it's just like it was a mistake. She should have told you a long time ago, and she didn't. But I don't know. They need a good storyline.
No, I mean, TJ clocking Brando, and then Brando showing up to Cyrus with a big fat lip. Just I'm like, okay.
I know, but I want to talk about the dumbest storyline of all.
Oh yes. Please let it be mine. Please let it be mine as well.
Congratulations of the debut of the alarm system.
Yes.
Frank, I was looking at the storyline going, they're trying so hard that it makes no sense. First of all, you got Sam, who told off her mother several weeks ago, but got dragged in by Olivia to help her mother. suddenly Olivia wants to find out what's going on with Alexis and why is she, and what did Tracy do? This is the worst storyline for Tracy Quartermain in Tracy Quartermain history. And there have been some clunkers. I just think this is a waste. A complete that scene where they're like looking at Tracy like, so yeah, I see this is the alarm system she had. I'm like,
that you're gonna bring back Jane Elliott, who's fantastic.
yes.
And not give her something more meaty, like perhaps she's going to make a play on Valentine to get ELQ back. Hey guys, Tracy Quartermain's back. I'll show you how it's done. I would rather see Tracy making a gambit against Valentine. Give me that.
I agree.
Don't give me this scene where I gotta now say, like Sam and Olivia, like, oh, my mom got an alarm system. Oh, that's nice. These are the scenes we're getting. Oh,
I was like, this is such a stretch of a storyline. It's dumb anyway. Tracy set her up for it, and now she has to go to court and blah blah. And I'm like, it's not that serious. Yeah, DWI, whatever, it's serious. But I'm like, it just seems like in comparison to who Tracy is and who Alexis, and like this is the dumbest storyline on earth. It's just like it doesn't make. So Tracy, so I lied. Okay, I mean. So you're gonna get mad at her for that, but then she's gonna say, "Why did you lie?" Because of Alexis and Ned. I mean, like there's other ways to do this.
Yes.
Alexis and Ned slept together. There's way other ways they could have done this. But also, but to put Alexis in the position of having to defend herself, she's already a drunk, but now you're like, now she's in the right, so to speak. It's like that's confusing for the audience. Like we're supposed to see her spiral downward. But there's one thing she didn't do. There's one thing she didn't do. So there's all poor Alexa. They're against her. Well, what's going on? I mean, I'm just,
It is so frustrating. I mean, the fact that you're trying, I can't. My affection for the Sam character, I think, as fans of this show know, is pretty rock bottom. This storyline is doing nothing. I'm discovering layers beneath the strata of my not caring about the Sam character.
Yes.
It's just like, come on. This is why you think we should keep Sam around for this stuff? Just send her away out of Port Charles for 6 months to a year. Give us a chance to like move on and be away from her. And then maybe she comes back with an interesting storyline in tow. But this stuff, no.
So why are you crying? What did Ned do now? Okay, it's like, Tracy, why would you blurt that? Like even Ned said later, why would you do like watch out when you go into rooms, just blurt shit out. Like she would never do that before. That's not her. Why would you do that? What? Come on, Grogu's. That's not true. They don't believe it. It was like that was the dumbest storyline. It was like her doing part of the storyline. Like he's like, well, I'm crying because it's Sunny. And that part was kind of funny though. The whole Tracy giving shade to Sunny dying. That was in character. That part was in character actually. When her and Ned, like, because she was not really crying over Sunny. They never liked each other. So that part was in character. But when Ned said, "Well, next time, watch you open doors and start screaming out," like it's like, hello. I'm like, you're gonna give Tracy, you're gonna give it away, Tracy. You're gonna give it away. But also, you're hiding a secret. And I mean, oh my god, the only part of the storyline that's not this part of the storyline that I liked, Finn and Tracy, more than please.
I've always enjoyed their friendship. And it's, and that Finn could feel comfortable enough around Tracy to open up as much as he did about what had happened in his past, without really getting into specifics. I was like, yes, that was great. That really showed the depth and value of that friendship.
I agree, and I love what she was like, why are you not telling me you and Jackie Templeton is Tracy? Like, why you never told me that? I started laughing because she's part of that time period too. That's kind of fun use of history, but I love it. They mentioned the backgammon. I just love their rapport. It's so good. They're so, again, another unlikely duo that they do in a ridiculous storyline kind of, but it worked. The friendship that came out of it totally worked.
What is frustrating about those types of scenes though, for as much as I enjoy them, is that somebody comes by from out of town or hasn't seen anybody in a while, and they want to like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? And that person always has a reason to not go, like Finn. And it's not really a good reason. It's like, oh, I've got a sick patient. Like we could have had Finn say yes. even if we never see that scene, because we're not going to, why not have Finn say
Right.
yes? And we just
I
get
know.
like, yeah. It's like, no, I gotta
Well,
stay.
Frank, if you ever came to town to see me, I would say yes to dinner.
It's just like, why make those scenes? Why be the negative? Why can't we say, yeah, let's do this, even if we don't see it? That's great.
I know. It's weird. They do that. It's just weird. They had time to talk in the hospital.
Yeah, could have gotten some food right there. I feel like
Cafeteria.
yeah, they've gotten to this rut where more often than not on these storylines they will have somebody with somebody out the secret. Somebody will come in and say the most obvious thing that they shouldn't say at that moment, and just like it's Jason's gone to that well so often, and you're just like nobody in real life would say that if they walked into a room. They wouldn't. They would. Nobody would talk like that.
So I don't know how long we have her for, but I'm Tracy for. So I don't know. I guess through the wedding. I guess probably through the wedding, the exciting wedding that you and I are waiting for.
I just this wedding cannot come soon enough. It can't. It
needs to hurry up. It needs to hurry up. Get me out of my life. It needs to hurry up. It needs to hurry up. I've never been so not excited for a wedding in my entire life.
And when you also just have one of the people involved in the wedding party, well, actually two, like Finn and Anna, neither of them are jazzed about it.
Oh, right, that's true. Yeah,
right. Of a double wedding, like, so why should we care? Like, if we can't even get all four people to be excited about an event, why would I care about watching this?
I agree. So I don't know what this is gonna. I don't know what this means. I mean, and there's so much thing. This storyline, thankfully, wasn't on this week. Thank God.
Yeah.
So I don't have to say anything bad or whatever. It does. You're right, Tara Kendall. It feels like Finn and I have been engaged forever. I've been engaged since time began. I mean, I don't understand what's going on there. I think Noah was building the ark at the same time they got engaged. I don't even know. They've been engaged forever. It's like it's like an 11th month pregnancy. Like, what's going on here? It's just taking forever to give birth. Like, are you an elephant? What's going on? Like, why is it taking forever to get birth? I mean, I don't understand. It's just like, oh. I'm just like, come on. I like GH and things I like, but if somebody's just like, just cut the ties with some of this stuff. These are great actors who know how to act. Let's just get it going. I mean, yes, Chase is his son, obviously. That's obviously what it is. I'm going to say it here, kids. Clearly, Chase is Finn's son. Clearly.
And it just seems too creepy. It just seems way too creepy now.
I agree. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I have a feeling that's what it is. Because why would he have those? So he finds out she slept with him. Okay, and that can't be enough. That can't be just it. That can't just be it. When she finds out at the wedding or something, you slept with my husband, your father. Okay. That's not it. I mean, we know it's not gonna be it. It has to be more than that. That's one bombshell. But I think there has to be. I don't think it's going to be a red wedding on GH. Great Game of Thrones reference. I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that's the end game.
Yeah,
that he's his son with Jack.
Because I mean, I feel like Gregory. If we're power ranking like how long people are going to be sticking around, Gregory's going to be around the least. Then followed closely by Jackie Templeton. Forever, how long they wanted to draw this out for the Cyrus storyline. And then you've got the only ones that are really going to be sticking around, which are Chase and Finn. So it's like this bombshell is going to get blown open. Gregory and Jackie will end up leaving town at some point, invariably separately. And then we just have to deal with Chase and Finn going through this fallout. And it's just like, oh, I didn't know. I slept with her. I never knew that I was your father. I guess I didn't want to know. Like,
oh. I know. I was like,
so Violet's now my sister instead of my niece.
I know. It's just like, do we really need this? Because he mentioned his age, how different his age is from Finn. The reference, like, oh, we get it. He's younger. We get it. And he's looking really young recently too. All of a sudden, it seems with Finn, like really clean, cutting hair. Like, I'm like, I don't know what you guys doing. I don't know what you're doing. And then that leads to, of course, the storylines we don't care about either. Willow, Chase, Michael, Sasha, Willow, Chase. I like Chase and Michael and Sasha and Willow. Them trying to work stuff out. But the couplings, what do you think, Frank?
I don't know what the show wants to end up with. If they want to put them back to their original status quo, or they want to have Sasha, excuse me, Willow and Michael be together. I don't know which way they're going, but it at least from Willow's point of view, it doesn't seem like it's as serious as it does as from Michael.
Right.
So
I can't tell either. I really can't tell. I know you guys in the chat room, you guys can tell. I can't tell anyone either. It's like, so are they building to a triangle? But then Sasha was kind of like, you still have feelings for Michael. Maybe you should, look at that. And it was like, really? But you like Michael too? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this at all. I mean, it's your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I know almost in a weird way, it would be kind of fun if Chase and Michael stayed together. Wait, sorry, Chase. I said Chase and Michael. That's like my dream, of course. I meant Willow and Michael. That would be a nice little twist, kind of like they did. I mean, they did do it, whatever, and they Chase out in the cold, or just have Chase go back and just go ahead and get Willow, and that's it. And then Michael and Sasha, and we do back to square one, so to speak.
I mean, I feel like when you've got Brooklyn kind of hovering out there at some point,
there's that too.
And she's going to come back either with a confirmed, pregnancy / cast iron baby or not. So I could see them putting Michael and Willow together. Sasha was with Brando, and then Chase ends up with Brooklyn.
Yeah, there you go. I would be fine with that. I would be fine with that. Yes, Josh is now 18, but she's still too young for that group. I don't think anything will happen with her in that group. She's still part of her own little group with them. Even though they have no dudes left. Except for Cameron. All the other dudes keep dying. They keep killing off the young men. What's that about?
Yeah.
I'm tired of what?
I'm tired of the Jack scenes of coming in. You don't want to come with me to Australia? I care about you. You're my child. I will do anything to protect you. This is what Ingo's so excited to come back from his time in Hawaii for. Is more scenes like this?
Well, this is Shady Sunday. He loves some people. He had a tweet out last week that made people pissed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He yelled at everybody. He yelled at all the fans. The fans tried to get him fired. And he said, you can't do that. And they're not going to listen to you people. And I can say whatever I want. So he basically was what he said. So Ingo had a huge fight on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I was like, okay, Ingo Rademacher. Come on the show, Ingo. We'll talk to you. We'll see what happens. No, Josh had a little bit of a crush on Mr. Phillips or whatever, a little Dusty or whatever. I call him whatever his name was, but he died, so that they didn't fully go forward on that. I wouldn't mind Josh kind of falling for an older man, just because it's a soap trope, of course, but it could work because why not? But right now they have her with that little crew. Her little crew are kind of together, so it's gonna be her, Cameron. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think they're leaning towards that. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
They're in the cold.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but back to the other ones. I like Chase and Michael together. I like kind of Will and Sasha together, trying to figure it all out, their friendships out. But I think I like what you said. Brando with Sasha, Chase with Brooklyn, and Michael and Will stay together and raise Wiley. And everybody's happy.
Yeah. But we got to work on giving Willow something other to do than just talking about Wiley and then being in this kind of like triangle that nobody really cares about. Like, she's got to have some business of her own. I mean, at least Michael's got ELQ storylines. So if you wanted to do that with him, and he's got anything that's having into Corinthos, so there are things you could do with Michael. Chase has got the PD. Sasha's got deception, but Willow has got really nothing going on.
That's true. She has nothing going on. They got to do something with her. They do. I mean, she's just floundering around, just walking through town, seeing people. So yeah, they need to do something with her. But again, I like the actresses. I have no problem with them. It's kind of like but find a place for them that makes sense.
Which is so weird because the show decided to cut her as a teacher, decided to cut her from the hospital, decided to cut her from possibly being a nurse. So the show made those choices. So if you're going to box her out of those, then what is your plan for this character?
The character brought up, is it Will trying to be a nurse? No, but they stopped it. But they brought it up. And Epiphany kind of taught you a little bit like, girl, and that was it. we've seen nothing since. She's just a glorified babysitter mother at home. You know, I don't. Yeah, so I don't know. It's funny. I'm enjoying. I mean, I'm enjoying the show overall. I kind of watch it. I give it like a B. You know, there's some storylines or whatever. But there's some storylines that are happening that just I feel like there's other ways they could have gotten there. If they're trying to get to this one spot, they could have gotten there, and it would have seemed more realistic on some level. Yes, I know it's a soap opera, but there's some things that you like. We the audience, we're not dumb. We see it. We don't. You can give us an interesting storyline. You can give us some twists that make sense. And not just go for some strange Tracy's trying to basically gaslight, Alexis. I mean, like she didn't care about Ned's relationships in the first place. She never cared about Ned's relationship. So why all of a sudden Olivia's good for you now and good for the family? And I mean, I don't know. It just came out of left field to me, I think.
I mean, I feel like I guess that's the problem of an art form that is serving a larger continuity is that times the first time you told these tropes back in the 70s and 80s, everything was new, but you can't go back to that well and telling it in the same way or having characters deliver exposition in that same kind of obvious way, because we've as an audience, we've seen it happen so many times that it's like the writing's got to get as sophisticated as the audience has gotten used to these storylines. You got to be ahead of the audience. Right now, I feel like you're playing to the lowest common denominator. I don't know if the audience, it's like, no, you can actually raise the storytelling bar on these same tropes if you want, but you got to approach it with a modern day sensibility and, make the audience work a little bit for it.
Yeah. They are going to do a tribute to Sean Donnelly. So they're going to do that. I forgot when, but they're going to do that. I saw that also. And
don't forget about Brick. Don't forget about Brick.
Well, no, they brought up earlier. We love Brick. We love Stephen A. Smith coming on there and being badass. And they saw one of the crime families got wiped out, so to speak. The people got wiped out. It's their folks. So someone, because Cyrus won't come to it, someone is trying to make a message. But I love that. I love that Brick was just not playing. Brick was like, okay, Cyrus. Cyrus just seems so pathetic to me in front of them. Just like this. He was trying to be cool and stuff, but he was trying too hard.
I didn't come by for a nightcap.
Oh my God, nightcap. I was like, okay, and no one served him. He didn't get a nightcap, so
no, he sure didn't. Took off his jacket just to, put it back on and scaddle off.
Yes, he was like, I guess I'm not getting that drink. I was like, no, you're not getting that drink. Nobody's getting you a drink. Life went on. Hello, Mary. Hello, buddy. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is good. No, he's fun. It's fun to see him on there. He's part of this whole thing, kind of. So, guess we'll see. I mean, we'll see what Jason decides to do because, he asked him, "Are you gonna take over now?" And he's just like, "I'm doing what I have to do right now." Carly has her own feelings about stuff. And we eventually see what this part I could be interested in seeing. This could be a storyline I could really, really get into and see what happens. Team Brick.
Yeah, it's just
if they do it right.
If they do it right, I completely agree. It's just knowing that Sonny, as we talked about before, knowing that Sonny's alive. I just feel like it's all going to be the illusion of change is what we're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
I think there's going to be this whole end game of he's seen the light a little bit, but he'll go back to his ways again. I mean, he'll go back to. I mean, it's an old storyline. It's an old storyline.
Yeah, because it's the way that the show is kind of wanted to have its cake and eat it too with Sonny and Jason, where they're the good mobsters.
Yes.
We never really see their illegal activities. All we know is that they don't get into the really bad stuff, and they do their best to keep it out of Port Charles. So for Sonny to kind of see the light, it's like, yeah, but we don't really even know what you're doing is not really, it's illegal, I guess. But it's not as, I don't know. It just it's not gonna last.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last. I don't think so either.
What if he just wore flannel all the time now? That's a big change for the character. He only wears flannel.
That's it. That's it. I'm just like, they found clothes that fit him, so I guess he's a regular size. If I had amnesia, I'd have to find some clothes to fit me. I'd be either too tight or too big, one of the two. So I don't know. That's
I feel like that is the go-to for GH though. Like when they did the Sonny Visions, what his life would like if he hadn't killed that guy in the alleyway. So he's married to Olivia. He's just wearing flannel all the time. He's a cop. And like the show just loves to do stuff where they get Maurice Bernard in flannel
because it's the opposite of his other life.
Yes, that's right.
The opposite. The opposite. I love it. Well, you guys, that's our show for today. That was. I hope we didn't sound too. Did I miss it? Did I miss any storylines?
No, I mean, no. Like there are things that we do genuinely enjoy about the show.
We do. We want, and you guys are smart too, because you guys are agreeing with us most of the stuff. So like, we're not saying anything you guys don't agree with. It's like, we want quality storyline that makes sense. Use of history, not use of history, whatever, just like quality storyline. That's all. We watch these things every day for a reason. And, we like the characters. And again, all the actors can act. We know they can act. They can handle storylines. We just want good storyline.
Yeah.
At the very least. Folks, yes. Go ahead.
I mean, certainly the pace and the demand for content is tough on a daytime program. So I mean, not every storyline is going to be A+, but man, I would love to reduce the amount of like D- storylines that we get on GH, and we've had several just kind of hovering around for too long now. So let's send those away.
And Tarakindle says, ragging on GH doesn't mean you don't love it. That's right, Tarakindle. No, we want better. We want good storylines. We like the action and we want good lives. But yes, everyone, please stay safe this week because it's going to be a crazy, hopefully not a crazy week. I hope this week goes smooth. I hope it goes smoother than they think it's going to go. I hope it's a smoother week and that we have a peaceful transition of power. And I hope that it works out that. And I hope everybody out there who's watching, who's listening to this now or watching, hope you're safe wherever you live. Wherever you are. We're in LA. I feel like I'll be fine here in LA, but for some of you guys who live in DC or those areas out there, please be careful. Heed all warnings and alerts. Frank, tell me they can find you if they want to find you on social media.
Nobody's going to want to do that, James. Let's be honest. It's just you and I talking.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, folks. Do something.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie, folks.
We are on Facebook at GH Spotlights, and then I'm at JLJ Media everywhere, and of course, we're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. Follow me there. But anyway, please stay safe. Please stay sane. I will see you on the other side.